Okay, I think we are live now. I'm Abiola. Can you guys please introduce yourself?
Hi, Jim. I'm Victor, sixth course student of Ivan Franklin's National Medical University.
I'm Grace.
I'm Grace Okoro, Sisters Medical Student of now Kibana Francis National Medical University.
Okay, from your records, we know you guys are one of the best students in
Best
last
in
year.
quotes, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please can you just tell us what your fifth year was like? I don't know where I'm going to start with. Every time it's always ladies first, so I think men should go first. At least for
No,
once.
let's keep up with the
Or
trend.
with the ladies, right? Okay. Ladies first. So Grace, tell us what was your fifth year like?
Okay, I would say 50 was actually awesome for me
Mm-hmm.
because even if people told me it was quite challenging, but I would say I did my best actually,
Okay.
and I had a very wonderful result out of it.
All the exams, all the modules, and all the courses.
Not basically because of the model. I mean for myself.
Okay, for yourself,
yeah.
you saw that you were able to improve and all that.
Mhm.
Okay, Victor, same.
It was a wonderful experience all around, but I think part of why it was really good for me was not really what went on in the class, but what went on outside of it.
Like what?
Like I got involved in a lot of extracurriculars, and it was responsible for a lot of things, not just for Ivan Frankis, but even on the European level as well. So it was good exposure for me to meet new people and learn a lot of new things.
Okay, so maybe you're going to share that with us as we go on, right?
If you ask.
So what are the challenging courses you found in the fifth course?
Basically, it was an infectious disease because
I don't know, can maybe you speak louder a little?
okay, it's basically infectious disease because one of the teacher there somehow I don't know if I'll use the word like it seems like her brain touches. So she even no matter how prepared you are and ready you are, you come to class still she don't judge you
According to what
you are answering or even based on the test answer. She don't judge according to that. She make it look as if infectious disease is that difficult to study. And
which other courses?
for some people traumatology
Okay.
somehow, but it depends on the teacher again. So
Okay.
it's actually quite awesome.
Okay.
And
Those are the main ones you can
that's the main one,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, Victor.
Difficult. Nothing was particularly difficult as
Okay. Of
much
course,
as.
maybe not difficult for you, but let's use the word challenging, right?
Okay, I guess infectious disease is challenging in the
Okay.
sense that you have to be prepared for every class, and
Okay.
it's not very short material to study.
Okay.
But for me, it was more like the nuisance subjects, the ones that you know that are not going to be useful, those kind of peripheral things. I can't really think of one example, but I am absolutely sure there were some nuisance subjects.
That you did in your fifth course.
Yeah, that we had in fifth year.
Okay. Apart from infectious disease, what of epidemiology, child infection? What do you have to say about those courses?
Still the same thing. Your teacher in infectious disease, still your teacher in epidemiology. Yeah.
Okay.
So if your teacher is giving you headache in
Epidemiology.
epidemiology, definitely you're
Sure,
giving
carry
headache.
it over.
So you have the same teacher in epidemiology
Yeah.
and infectious disease.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the only thing I would say it's you should try to impress your teacher. You know, your first 3 classes it's as important.
Okay.
This is I don't know if it's a Ukrainian stuff or something
Okay.
because if you can impress your teacher in the first 3 classes, then you have it's like a stable result,
Okay.
which to me I feel it's not really meant to be.
Okay.
Even if you're studying, you should study for yourself in order to produce these stuff to people, not for your teachers actually.
So what materials did you study?
Most often we got materials from the department because even if you study from American textbooks, from other textbooks, you come to class, they'll tell you you're wrong.
Okay.
Because you know the Ukraine pattern, kind of the Ukrainian standard, they have a pattern the way it should be. It's more of their own standards.
Yeah.
So even if you're going to study in other textbook, you should study what they
they
give to you,
recommend in
what
the
they
department.
recommend. Yeah.
So we should study the textbooks given to us from the department.
Yeah.
Okay. Victor, what do you have to say about epidemiology and child infection?
pretty good classes. Child infection especially was is the one I prefer out of the two. Epidemiology is a bit sketchy, but so far so good. According to the way I'll say it is, infectious disease is like one of the only departments you are going to learn something that the teachers are going to be that dedicated to you in fifth course. So regardless of how interesting or uninteresting the course will be, you will still have to study it, and the compulsion to study it makes it more interesting than it should be.
So what materials did you study?
For epidemiology, I was dabbling here and there. You know, for the first 3 classes, you will not really know which there's one particular lecture I remember, one particular class from epidemiology that is in no textbook ever, but it's in only one lecture. It begins and ends in that lecture. You will never see it for the rest of your life. So that one.
Well, you can't remember the particular lecture.
I think it was lecture 3, something like epidiagnostics or something like that. That epidiagnostics, that word only exists in that lecture. And every other anywhere you look for epidiagnosis, it will not exist. So as time went on, you start studying diseases. So for diseases, you can study whichever thing you want. Basically, the one that is most understandable to you. But they come up with pretty decent lectures in the department. I find it difficult studying from
their lectures. For those of us just going to 15 now, what do you recommend for us to study?
For the first class,
because even if their lecture might not be interesting, will it help in class? Because we don't want to rework.
Of course, it will help in class, and it's their lecture. But the thing is, will you understand it the way they want you to understand it? That is the issue. But for the first class of epidemiology, it's basically just terminologies and some classifications.
What kind of terminology do we need to know?
Like what is epidemiology, what is an infectious process, what is an infectious disease,
that's the
stages of infection, blah blah, stages of diseases, the incubation period, prodromal period, those kind of things. So that one you can find it anywhere, but the lecture I studied for that first class was pretty decent. I remember I gave it like serious 3 hours, but it was okay. It's enough for that material. I think it's enough for the first 2 classes. Then epidiagnostics jumped to that crazy lecture.
That lecture that is only found in the lecture.
It is only found there ever.
You said it starts and ends in that lecture.
It begins and ends in that lecture.
Grace, please, what can you tell us about your first few classes? What materials will you advise us to study?
Just like you said, you know, the first class, first of all, you haven't had a lecture. You actually know what to expect. So basically, you're just gonna dig down into the internet somehow, one way or the other. Or go through a textbook. You kind of you possess. Go through to know what, first of all, what's epidemiology, as he said. Try to differentiate what epidemiology is from infectious disease. And also you try to know what's epidemic process. You have to get all this information incorporated. Because you also be asked questions such as they ask you what's the source of infection, mode of transmission, and how is it susceptible to the population. These are all information you have to know for yourself. It's actually quite interesting because it depends on your teacher again. Some of the teachers will explain this to you. Some of them will throw it as a question to you. But the whole thing is you shouldn't go to a class unprepared. Even if you're not fully prepared, please have an idea
of what the class is talking about. Especially in that department.
Especially in that department. So, like he said, that's epidiagnostic. That topic was actually very crazy. It was only just
that particular lecture.
It was really crazy, seriously.
Then what of this thing? Child infection.
Well, child infections is good. Their lectures are sufficient. And not sufficient, but sufficient for the class. But I would advise people to still study outside the box, I guess. And the teachers are. At least my teacher was attentive and she explained and whatnot. So I have no issue whatsoever
with child infection. What about clinical pharmacology? What do you have to say about clinical?
One of the news houses.
It's alright. Imagine going for a class and your teacher is not there to say anything to you even when you're prepared. But one thing I will only say it's even if it's a nuisance course or your teacher don't actually get to it, we should know that the medicine is not for them.
Yeah.
We are trying to be medical doctors in order to treat people. You know, imagine even being a medical doctor and you can't do your job as a medical doctor. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So even if it's a nuisance course, it doesn't mean we should tie our hands, hold our hands, do nothing about it. We should go an extra mile because pharmacology is a very, very, very vital part in medicine. If you don't know your drugs, how can you treat the patients? How can you give the right drug? How do you know how to combine side effects with contraindications? All this information is very, very, very vital in terms of treatment. So even if you don't get to do anything, still study and get the information out.
So Victor, what do you have to say?
Tell us, just give us one
for clinical pharmacology. What test would you recommend?
You can still keep on with Lippincott, but
Lippincott pharmacology, right?
Yeah. Okay. But my advice for you, because I don't know if they'll change the plan now, but the way the plan was then, we will study all anti-ischemic drugs. There were like 7 classes of drugs that had like 12 drugs each on each under each group. So my advice for you is, start studying some drugs now. But another way you can study it though is you can combine it with your other classes. But if you want to do well, if clinical pharmacology is your thing, then you should go and start studying now, because during the class it will be too much.
What was the module like?
The module, there was the MCQ part. That was not a module.
One semester?
I think clinical pharmacology is
one semester. What about infectious disease, epidemiology, and child infection?
Epidemiology is one semester, infectious diseases is in both, and child infections
is in both. Okay. Then, I think, Victor, what do you have to say about internal medicine? What was internal medicine like?
Oh, internal medicine was pretty good until the 6th course came and stole my teacher. But internal medicine, it also depends on the teacher again. Some people, when 6th course stole my teacher, internal medicine was nothing. It was basically going to. Sometimes you could not be there and you still get present. But when the teacher is around and if your teacher takes you seriously, it is literally a war between your ward and hers, because they have so many classifications. My teacher takes myocardial infarction, acute coronary syndrome very personally. You would think that it's descended from our bloodline. But just study what you can and go to the class open-minded, because all your notions of everything will be shattered. And in my opinion, that makes the class more interesting, because if what I'm going to study is just going to be in the textbook and the teacher is going to ask me from what the textbook is, I should have just sat down at home and saved my $3,800. So it's actually more valuable if you go to the class and you learn something that doesn't exist in it. There's something practical, and of course she takes you to patients, and I've listened to so many momos, and she practiced everything with us. It was, in my opinion, before 6th course came, I have to put that caveat. Before 6th course, it was one of the classes I looked forward to. But after they came, it was one of those classes.
Grace, what do you have to say about internal medicine?
Internal medicine, I would say it was fun, although there are a lot of topics to cover. But I feel
what was internal medicine about in 5th course?
It's actually divided, of which majority of it was more of the cardiology part.
When are we going to start cardiology?
You're going to start right away. And your first topic, topic should be on essential hypertension. And consequently, then you're going to have systemic diseases, all these autoimmune diseases, and then you end up with kidney diseases. And it's actually quite fun. The only thing I would say is you try to learn, and when you're learning, there are a lot of criteria for some universal classifications by different names. Try to use the American names to learn this classification, because sometimes your teacher may not ask in class. But I feel it's going to be very important for us.
As a person,
as
it
a
might
doctor.
not be in class.
So
what classification should we use in class? Because if we don't pass class,
that's the reason why you still have to study the European textbook, study the information given to you, the lectures. Most often now, not all the textbooks are accessible to us for one reason or the other. So most times internal medicine. I used lectures, I used Hutchinson,
Okay.
Clinical Hutchinson. I used different textbooks,
Was
not just
Harrison helpful?
Harrison was very helpful
Was
too.
Davidson helpful?
Davidson, but Davidson wasn't so deep into it.
Okay.
I also
Did you have
use,
to use Mashinenko again?
you can,
Okay.
but not necessarily. You know, one thing with internal medicine, it's very very fast. Studying one textbook, it's not enough.
Okay.
But what I would say, you know, it's time consuming. At your own free time, you should try to, you know, go
Okay.
dig deep to get information, because for you to be a good doctor, it's not just based on what you study in class.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Which other courses do you think are challenging? Traumatology, neurosurgery.
The thing about traumatology is,
Or can you just summarize the
the thing
other.
about traumatology is it practically stops making sense at some point. Like, I think when they start talking of specific fractures in different
Why do you see
it just
stop making
it
sense?
stops making sense. What the hell is a Vishnevsky fracture? It doesn't. I don't know where that exists. You understand? So, like, why would you name a fracture after a person? Is it the only person that has fracture? Like, it doesn't make sense. So, my advice for you is, for traumatology specifically, you should know the basic stuff. I think they have one. What's it called? There's a classification. There's a specific classification of fractures there that you should know, and then you should know traumatic shock. I think, and polytrauma. I think is among the first two topics.
Okay.
And then for the fractures in class, you'll be asked about everything. But the most important thing for you to know at this stage that we are now, because Ukraine tends to teach everybody as if they are specialists for some reason. But what you should know is how to detect a fracture, the emergency treatment of that particular trauma, and then you should know if it is complicated and how to refer if there's a vascular damage or nerve damage or some kind of complication attached to that particular fracture. You should know how to manage it, basically. But you know, the books will be fun.
Okay. Okay. Now, Grace, just tell the fifth course students who have just started fifth course, what is your advice for us as we go into fifth course? Generally, all the modules. Just give us a general word.
okay, my advice for the fifth course student, I'll start by saying something about the studying. You know, everybody have a pattern of studying.
Okay.
You mustn't study like me or like him or like him
Okay.
to be good at what you do. What I would say is, you know your perfect time to study. Try to maximize it.
Okay.
And the pattern of study is also as important as the information you're studying. You're studying an information, it may be very, very valuable to you. But if you don't give it your interest, if there's no interest in what you're studying, it's a problem, because you can't gather this information. And also your visual sense, it's very important. Your writing sense, although it's not a sense, but if you're studying, you should at least make notes. You know, one funny trick the brain plays on us, it incorporates everything into an information and stores it up there. I remember that the brain has different regions for it has different functions. So if you're studying, remember your visual is being stored, your write-up is being stored. If you watch a video, it's also going to store. And at the same time, if sometimes there's a problem with what you're studying, you don't get, try to make a diagram. Or watch a diagram. Google image made life a lot more easy. So you can use the Google image, you study, go through it, and even if maybe there's no very nice image for you, you can make a diagram. Try to understand what you're doing. It helps you up right there. So in addition, I would say, don't give up on yourself. And medicine is not all about the study. It's not all about the study. Come on, you should have fun.
Thank you. So, Victor, fifth course, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, I think Grace has covered all the intangible.
She has covered everything.
All the intangible
I
stuff.
think I can confirm what Grace has said, because you guys make one of the best notes ever I've ever seen any student.
Make notes, listen, have fun, blah blah. So I will try to give you like tips on how to pass.
Because we need to pass.
In
In as much as we need to study what
you will be
let us just
doctors,
pass
or you'll
first.
be doctors when you pass.
Thank you.
So
Just tell us how to pass.
my advice for you, the first thing to do is, if it depends on where you are going. If let's say you want to write USMLE or take any of these external exams, you should start practicing their questions
now. Okay.
And then, you know, even after studying, you should make time just to look through it. So, because the thing about tests is tests work the opposite way books work. So, when you read the book, you study all the information and blah blah. But the test shows, it's a way they show you what is relevant in real life. What you are tested on is what you will see, basically. So it's always good to try to test your knowledge even as you study as wide as possible. Okay. Also, you should try to practice like repetition of what you study, so that you don't just study and try to put everything in your head at one go. I know people that only study 30 minutes before the class and just put the information and then tell the teacher and bye bye.
So how do you study?
Me, I study in how do you call it? I try to practice spaced repetitions in such a way that I study something like for like 30 minutes. You're surprised, how can you study for 30 minutes? But you know, you just skim through. Then I give it. I try to remember if from that 30 minutes thing about 1 minute after I studied and 10 minutes later. Okay. Then after that, I go through it again and try to add more information to the first draft. So when I've tried that second time, is then I begin to make notes, because I usually do the first one when I'm eating. So, okay. That's pretty much it.
You're also a prominent member of EMSA.
Okay, yeah.
Tell us something about EMSA. What does EMSA have for us? Because we are already in the clinicals, and what are your plans? What does EMSA have for us this new year?
Okay. For people that don't know, and I hope people that don't know are watching, there is EMSA means EMSA stands for European Medical Students Association, and it's a kind of envelope for several medical students across Europe to come together and achieve a common goal. The common goal being good stuff. Okay. So this year, EMSA Ivano in particular, we have an academic, we will be having an academic, how do you call it? Like an academic exposition, but it's based mostly for EMSA members, because then if you're not a member, why are you benefiting? You know, what it is. And it will be very interesting. We have periodic trainings in suturing and other surgical skills. Last year, I think we had 3 or more classes on emergency procedures, bandaging, and there was the global health course that changed the way many people think about medicine as a whole. And so during the meetings, we have dedicated time to give lectures. I think this year, because with the 6th course will be in charge, so I will be in charge of that, and I will make sure that it's most valuable for anybody that takes part in it.
We'll look out for that. Grace, you're a prominent member of ICMA.
Yeah.
Tell us something about ICMA.
Okay.
Because I've been seeing some kind of, but let me leave it to you to tell us.
Okay, ICMA stands for the International Christian Medical Association. Okay. And currently there's a conference coming on. You can actually be. It's coming on the 21st to 23rd of October, which it's not far away, it's just nearby. And in this conference, we'll be having many speakers from the USA, from the UK, from all over Europe, from Sierra Leone and from Nigeria. So the truth is, you don't want to miss it, and it's very, and also India, from the Asian world, so there are speakers coming from this part. We have about 30 to 35 speakers already on ground who will be speaking in the conference. And these speakers will be speaking, they'll be holding some master classes, whereby in these master classes, there are different master classes. It depends on the one you choose. You will get to do some suturing. They get to teach you how to interpret ultrasound, some X-ray, some CT and MRI. They tend to teach you all this. They tend to teach. There are different fields based on where you go in the pediatric, the neurosurgery. They tend to teach you some specifics where you can use and apply even in the medical field. And also,
how do you register for the conference?
How to register,
And how much
it's
is
you register online on the icmau.com.
Can you repeat that?
icmau.com, or
Okay.
you can contact me or some of my other fellow schools. So
Okay. To register.
To
How much?
register.
How much will it cost us?
it's just $25
Okay.
to the end of September, and $30 from 1st of October to 20th of October.
I
So
must
to me,
say,
I would say it's cheap.
now.
Even
Okay.
later, it's still cheap.
Okay.
It's affordable.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I would like to say something, not about MSAB, but
Okay.
just generally about
Uh-huh.
fifth course. I would like to talk about case histories.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about case histories in Ukraine that makes them very tedious is the way we learn them.
Okay.
In Ukraine, they teach us how to write case histories,
Mm-hmm.
but what we should be learning is how to take case
Case
histories.
history.
So it is important for you to practice this taking of case histories, and it will not be the way it is now. So you should check some peripheral materials, because case histories don't work the way we know they work.
Mm-hmm.
So you should try to find, I think there are like 10 steps in taking case histories. You should
Okay.
try to find something like this
Okay.
and practice it repeatedly throughout
Okay.
every case history you
You
take.
take, okay.
In that way, because case histories are a burden for me, I hate case histories. But that way, I think at least I can make 50% of the case histories you will take interesting.
Okay.
And if at least 50% of your case histories are interesting, I tried now, I tried. So, because completely all of them are boring right now. So, just try to find how to take case histories and not just how to write them, because taking case histories is the bedrock of medicine. It's basically the one thing that you will definitely do in your first year of internship. All through, you will be like the case history guy.
Okay.
So you should know that by all means.
Okay. Thank you. I must say, you guys have really, really been helpful. Thank you for the information you've given us, and I'm very sure it's going to help us. All of us who are going to 50 now, we are very grateful for this information. And I want to let everyone know who is watching that most of the materials they've listed here, we've been able to get it from them, and it's on Telegram. Krushkrok 5th course channel. All you need to do is just go through it. When you go to class, you search through all these materials and just search for the material. You don't need to go through your mail or Facebook and looking for lectures and all that. And again, we also want to, I don't know if you guys will probably have time during the semester, probably comes once or twice a month, or maybe once or twice a month, to come and just explain some topics that might probably be difficult for us. Epidemiology, infectious disease, maybe just for 30 minutes, okay? Please just keep on watching Krushkrok. Look out for us, because we'll be teaching some courses, important courses this semester, 7:30 p.m. So on Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and Sundays. Most likely we're going to start next week. We're going to probably let you know how the schedule will be. Thank you very much. I want to thank Krushkrok for hosting us.
Thank you
Have
for
a nice
watching.
day. Thank
Thank you, Krushkrok.